up, everybody? Hello. After Hours with Marks. We are live on a Tuesday night. This will be live up on the 97.5 The Fanatics YouTube page on Wednesday morning. I'm your host, Sean Marks. Hello, everybody. Joining me, as always, probably watching the Philadelphia Flyers right now because there are two games going on as we tape this. Delco Steve. Hi, Delco Steve.
What's up?
What are the Flyers doing right now, man?
Shit in the bed.
Yeah.
Up 3-0, scored 3 goals on the first 5 shots, and then now down 4-3, and I've only given up 9 shots. So
they were up 3-0?
Yeah, in the first 10 minutes.
Wow.
Yep.
They've been on a skid. They've been on a skid recently. The Flyers. Rick Tocchet very unhappy with the home performance.
Not a good week. We sat here talking about how good they looked last week, and since then, not too good.
Well, listen, they're still on a rebuild, Steve. 2030, we should be in the playoffs.
Oh my God,
something like that.
If it's not before then, God help me.
Well. Listen, here's good news, bad news. Good news is that the football team's really good.
Very true.
And the basketball team actually looks like it's really good. They were up by 20-some over the Bulls.
They still are.
Yeah, they're still rolling. I have it on the TV over here. I don't want to get
exactly up 20.
I don't want to get too caught up in the live games. We'll keep you updated because this is really meant for the YouTube audience on 97.5. The Fanatics YouTube page. Well, it's meant for our live audience too, but make sure you're liking and subscribing. Comment on the episode. We will do this live on a Tuesday night at 9 p.m. and then it'll be uploaded and it'll be ready to be watched on Wednesday morning on the Fanatic YouTube page. All right, well, Delco Steve, NFL trade deadline came and went today at 4 p.m. The Eagles were active over the last couple days, not today up until the trade deadline, but yeah, they were active. So Jalen Phillips, defensive end from the Miami Dolphins, netted for a 3rd-round draft pick. And they got Jair Alexander for more or less you get the player and you give up a 6th, then you got a 7th round in return. So not much there. I don't know if the guy can play, but are you satisfied? They also got last week, they got Michael Carter II, a slot corner from the Jets for next to nothing. Are you satisfied with what the Eagles did, Delco Steve?
Definitely, 100%. Phillips, first-round talent. Obviously had some injuries, but has history with Vic Fangio, was playing well under Vic Fangio the year he tore his Achilles. I think he played 8 games that year. He had like 6.5 sacks when he played for Vic Fangio. So really like that kind of production from him. Dude's a motor. He played for University of Miami, like always terrorized Florida State when he played them. But he's a good player. He's a talented player. And it's 3rd-round pick. It's kind of exactly what we did with Hassan Reddick, where we traded him for a 3rd-round pick. And if the Jets, if he leaves the Jets and signs a big deal, the Jets would get a 3rd-round compensatory pick. It's the same idea. If he leaves here, we're going to get a 3rd-round compensatory pick in 2020.
Probably a 4th. What I'm reading is probably a 4th. But to your point, so what?
Yeah,
they had 3 3rd-round draft picks for a reason. So you can make additions at the trade deadline when you're trying to win another Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's a 26-year-old, and if he pops and wants to stay here, great, awesome, fantastic. And you're getting that kind of talent for a 3rd-round pick. Can't complain with that.
Yep.
I like what they did with the corners. I think it kind of gives them 2 plans if one works and if one doesn't work. Jair obviously signs with the Ravens after a couple injured years with the Packers. Was a premier corner in the league. Didn't work out so well with the Ravens this year, but it's been a healthy scratch a bunch of times. But if he pops, great. You put him on the opposite side of Mitchell. You got your 2 outside corners, leave Cooper DeJean in the slot. If he doesn't work, you could try Cooper DeJean on the outside and bring Michael Carter in at the slot. And Michael Carter's a talented slot player.
Yep. They got two more corners. They're going to throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. Maybe Jair Alexander ends up starting a game later on in the season when you need him and he comes up. I have no expectation for him. He gave up nothing. Right. I have no expectation at all. He
can't be worse than Keely Ringo or Adoree Jackson.
Yeah, well, if he is, it'd be really, really bad. So He's trying to fix and I agree with you. Maybe if you're entering the playoffs and these guys still suck, that's when you finally say, all right, we're going to put Cooper DeJean on the outside short term. To me, it feels like they really want to use him as a playmaker.
Couldn't agree more.
Move him around.
They don't want to take him out of that Joker kind of role.
Yeah, he's wasted. He's wasted if you just use him on the outside corner. And honestly,
but if that's what you need,
yes, they can do it. Absolutely, they can do it. I don't think he plays to be in a full-time outside corner.
Completely agree.
Yeah, I don't think that. I don't think that's his best position. No. Short term, he can definitely help you because he's athletic, but he's too good of an athlete to where you're like Quinyon Mitchell, perfect size, perfect skill set. You don't even know he's on the field half the time because guys aren't throwing to him, or he's just not allowing anything to happen. You see Cooper DeJean pop multiple times a game because he's making plays, he's making tackles, he's doing all that stuff. So, yeah, Jalen Phillips, you had said it. I liked him coming out of Miami. The Eagles liked him coming out of Miami. He's a top 15 pick, right? Like he has the traits of an elite edge rusher. The Eagles traded for him to be their best pass rusher. And he also plays well against the run, too. He's not a one-dimensional pass rusher. He's good against the run. Vic Fangio obviously had him down in Miami. He got injured that season, but he had him down there, so he's familiar with his character and the kind of a dude he is. And you know what? Like, if he doesn't end up being great or he gets injured, it's a third-round draft pick. I don't care. The upside of this is he becomes your best pass rusher, and he helps you go back to another Super Bowl.
And especially like a team like the Eagles, a third-round pick, if it's their third-round pick specifically, or even one of their compensatory picks, it's even later. It's pretty much an early fourth.
And if he leaves, like you said, in free agency, you get a comp pick. So like whatever. Howie has made these trades before, giving up third round. Who's the wide receiver they traded a third round pick for in 2018? And Golden Tate. And he caught that one touchdown against the Bears in the playoff game. Didn't really do much else, but he caught a touchdown in a playoff game. For me, that was worth a third round draft pick, right? So I like Howie. This is what you do when you have a team. Everybody, the Eagles are the number one team in the NFC right now, coming out of their bye week. The division is pretty much wrapped up. The Cowboys are cooked. The Commanders are really cooked. Yep. Yeah. Division sucks. So the Eagles now they got a couple of tough games coming up, and they're going to be vying for the top overall seed again. I don't know if they're going to get it. They do have some tough games coming up, but they're going to be right there. They are. This is what
they're the only team with a division of a cakewalk.
It's true. They play the Commanders twice at the end of the season, right?
Yep. And like obviously Giants are done, split that, got another game with the Cowboys. But even that, who's like coming to like those teams aren't beating other teams outside of the division either. It's like then you have the NFC West with the three juggernauts with the Niners, Rams, and Seahawks. They're gonna beat up. They're gonna beat up on each other. The NFC North is probably the deepest division.
All four teams have winning records.
They're all going to beat up on each other. Everyone was just writing the Vikings off last week, and JJ McCarthy comes back and beats the Detroit Lions, who've been on a tear. It's like, so we're going to be able to, if we split with the Packers and Lions, we're easily going to be in the 1 seed conversation going forward.
Yeah. So the Vikings are 4-4, so they don't have a winning record, but they're 500. Yeah.
And they did that with Carson Wentz.
Right. Yeah. Started how many games? 3 games, Carson Wentz?
5.
Is that what he started? 5 games?
Yeah. Because JJ missed.
Yeah, he did.
Maybe 6. I think it was 6 because JJ missed 6.
Wow. Yeah. Bears 5-3, Lions 5-3, Packers 5-2-1. That was a brutal loss to the Panthers on Sunday. Yep. And the Vikings 4-4. So you're right. They're going to beat up on each other. The Bucs probably have the easiest road. The Panthers, I mean,
they're Fugazi, but
might be the worst 5-4 team I've ever seen. But still, they just beat the Packers on the road. So you got to give them credit.
And obviously, the Falcons' record doesn't look as good, but the Falcons are still going to compete with the Bucs.
Yeah, they can beat the other teams in the South, but the Bucs are clearly the best team in the South.
Agreed. And there's no competition for us in our division.
No, Seattle Rams, Niners, all good teams. Cardinals actually looked the Cardinals look so much better.
They're better than their
Jacoby
record.
Brissett. They look better with Jacoby Brissett as their quarterback than Kyler Murray. They do.
Fourth quarter score differential minus 63 or something like that. That's insane. They're fourth best scoring differential in the first 3 quarters and minus 63 in the fourth.
Marvin Harrison Jr. looks like a different wide receiver with Brissett out there as opposed to Murray. And he was dropping a lot of balls too. So I'm just not putting everything on Kyler Murray. Reality is that the NFL's weird this year. You don't really have the standout team. The Colts, and I had that game last week. I had them losing to the Steelers. Like, does anybody really believe the Colts are the best team in the NFL, or when it's all said and done, they're going to be in the Super Bowl? I don't buy it.
I'd be surprised.
Yeah, the Patriots actually look really good, but still, this is the first year. Drake May and that team is right there. Bills are 6-2. The Chiefs are 5-4, man. Like, I don't know. I'm not telling you they're not making the playoffs, but they're 5-4. They're 2 games behind the Broncos at this point.
Playoffs started tomorrow. They'd be out.
Another good division. The Broncos are legit. The Chargers with Jim Harbaugh, they're legit. We'll see what I don't really buy the quarterback.
Their offensive line has been decimated.
Yeah, for all the people that were bitching and complaining that the Eagles shouldn't have got rid of Mekhi Becton, he's one of the worst guards in the league this year, and he's been hurt. And he's been hurt. Yeah, and he's been hurt, and they just lost Joe Alt for the season. So, yeah, they are.
Yeah. Herbert's pressured at like 21% of the dropbacks right now, which is just insane.
Wide open. The Cowboys make a trade today and get Quentin Williams from the Jets and give up a first and a second and a player
who was a first round pick.
Round pick. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Our favorite organization doing us wonders for content.
Right. And I was reading a lot of comments on social media about the trade, and it just I understand getting rid of Micah Parsons because you didn't want to trade him and you wanted to get first round draft picks or whatever, but you essentially traded the first round draft picks for an older defensive tackle who may be regressing. He only has 1 sack this year. I'm not saying he's not a good player, but you're not winning anything this year. What are they, 3-5-1? Why wouldn't you keep the draft picks and say, like, all right, let's reset, let's get to the offseason and figure out what we're going to do? Meanwhile, they're 3-5-1, and they're trading away high draft picks for a tackle who, by the way, is making a lot of money on top of it.
The Quentin Williams will now be their 3rd tackle on the books for next season with a $20 million cap hit. 3 defensive tackles with $20 million cap hit. But you didn't want to pay Micah. How does that make sense?
It doesn't. Well, it does. Nothing that Jerry does make sense.
It's just like you like not even who's the D tackle that they have that I will never be able to pronounce his name. The rookie they just gave, not rookie, but the player they drafted, they gave an extension.
I don't know.
Whatever. But so they added Kenny Clark and Quentin Williams for pretty much what Micah Parsons' cap hit would have been.
Yeah, I just. But like last night, I don't know if you watched the game last night, the offense isn't great right now. Doesn't it just seem like that the entire, like, the whole Cowboy Jerry Jones thing is just hovering over them, and they all know it, and they know they can't win with it. He's talking about oil deals, and Dak Prescott's needing to answer questions about his comments about Jerry saying, "Oh, well, I'm not fixing the defense because I'm busy doing this oil deal, making $100 billion." And then he does an interview with Stephen A. Smith, and he's talking about how, he likes the controversy and he's always going to do that. And it's important to him and all this other stuff. And it's like, damn, Jerry, he ain't getting any younger, which means he's not going to get any tamer. He's going to keep talking this nonsense. So they're cooked.
Yeah, he's nuts. And then the icing on that whole thing is the 27 first round pick is the worst pick of the two between the Packers and the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Or the better pick, I should say.
The better pick, yeah. Worse for them.
So if they freaking come out and shit the bed next year, that's another top 10 pick going to the Jets if they don't get it put together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, good for us.
Got to feel good about it. Now you have a bunch of defensive ends because everybody's healthy for the Eagles. Now you have a bunch of corners that you hope you can get through the rest of the season. I mean, that's really what it is. You're hoping that you can get by, and they've done this before. Remember they brought in Steven Nelson because they needed a number 2 corner. It hasn't worked out this year. It hasn't. They were hoping Ringo would take the job. He didn't. They brought in Adoree Jackson in case Ringo didn't take the job. He sucked too. They traded for Bennett, hoping he would take the job. He got injured. And now they have Jair Alexander. And
if he gets on the field this week, revenge game against the Packers?
Dude, I've seen Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson play. He can't be worse than both of those guys. Maybe he's worse than Ringo, but he can't be worse than Adoree Jackson.
No.
I hope
Adoree Jackson is
he getting cut? They're going to have to create roster spots for these guys.
Oh, that was the first thing I expected to see today after I guess the moves were done yesterday. I don't know exactly who they had to have moved other people on in and out of the roster or to the IR or something. But I was expecting to see Adoree Jackson cut.
Yep. Yeah, me too. Well, I guess
they did move Mechie in the Carter trade.
Sure, but that opens up another. Like that doesn't open up a roster spot. It just adds another. Adoree Jackson. Andrew DeCecco on the Fanatic today said that it's notable Adoree Jackson does not play special teams. So typically, if you're a 4th corner on a team or a 5th corner on a team, you're playing special teams. Otherwise, they don't need you. No, he doesn't play special teams, so that might be a little bit of an insight to say if one of these guys is going, it's him. They're not going to cut Ringo because he's a draft pick. He's younger. They have more invested in him, and Adoree Jackson sucks. He just does.
No, there's nothing on him as of right now. 9 hours ago, the last update was Philadelphia would love to make Keely Ringo or Adoree Jackson trade. Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. All their crappy players. I'm sure the teams are lining up for it.
Yeah, if you want to give us a 4th-round pick for Adoree Jackson, take them.
Yeah. Yep. The other big news was the Jets are getting rid of everybody. Sauce Gardner traded to the Colts for 2 first-round draft picks and a player that they drafted in the 2nd round last year, the wide receiver Mitchell.
80 Mitchell,
yep. 2 first and a 2nd-round pick last year for Sauce Gardner, who's a good corner, but still, I mean, geez.
This just goes to the point back to Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons that he didn't get enough for Micah Parsons. Like, this is pretty much the same trade for Sauce Gardner. And so, as good as Sauce Gardner was his first 2 years coming out of college, he has not been that.
He's not
the last couple years.
No, and like
I'm not saying he's been bad, but he's not first all-pro, first team corner he was his rookie and 2nd year.
No, and he's like he's not very physical. When he was going through the whole contract thing, like he didn't want to tackle and all this other stuff. So yeah, good move for the Jets. The Jets aren't anywhere close. The Jets don't have a quarterback, so they don't have the quarterback of the future. I mean, I would have sold everything. I'm surprised they didn't trade Garrett Wilson or some other guys, but
I just can't believe this regime had to have been the same regime that gave Sauce that extension, right?
They just gave it to him.
Like, how do you give him a 5-year extension and then turn around and trade him? That just seems nuts to me.
The Jets GM said that the offers were too good to pass up. I agree.
100%. Someone offers me 2 first-round picks for AJ Brown yesterday, and we can do something with that to replace him. I probably would take it.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, no. Jets are 1-7, so they might have the first overall pick in the draft, depending on what happens here. So probably not a good year to have the first overall pick.
All these quarterbacks,
all these quarterbacks blow. Yeah, they suck, all of them, except the South Carolina kid.
Sellers.
Yeah, Sellers has like everything you're looking for.
He's the hey, goal time. He's Anthony Richardson. Of this draft.
How'd that work out?
It's
not
obviously I know him as a college football player. I've seen him play a few times, but he's not, the big names that you saw all the time, like the Herberts or Tuas that you knew their games in and out.
Yep. All right, for sure. So that's the Eagles story. Coming out of the bye, we got to wait all the way till Monday, Delco Steve. At the Packers. And not great to be facing a team on Monday night that just lost a bad loss at home to the Panthers. So you'd rather have them win feeling good about themselves as opposed to pissed that they blew an opportunity against the Panthers. But we'll see. The Eagles are coming out of the bye. I think Sirianni's undefeated coming out of the bye. They've gotten healthy. Their defensive line's gotten healthy. Their offensive line's gotten healthier. The offense seems to have hit their stride, or certainly Jalen has been throwing the ball with much more confidence. So this is a measuring stick couple of weeks here, because you have at the Packers, then you have Sunday Night Football at home against the Lions, and then you have the Cowboys coming in, right? So you have this is another gauntlet for the Eagles of games coming up here. It's a tough part of the schedule. Eagles had a pretty brutal schedule from the beginning of the season to at Packers, home against the Lions, at the Cowboys, Black Friday against the Bears, at the Chargers. That's the 5 games coming out of the bye. So it'll be tough.
I don't know about you, but I feel pretty good at coming out of the bye. Yeah. Where if I think at worst, I don't think there's any chance they lose both Packers and Lions game. Like, what do you think the chances of that happening?
No, 1-1. 1-1 at worst.
At worst. Right. And I would say I'm probably like more on like 60-40 that they could win both games.
All right. So how about this? Packers, Lions, Cowboys, Bears, Chargers. Would you sign up for 3-2 right now?
See, but the thing is, I think the Cowboys game shouldn't be a tough game, but it's going to be.
It always is. Well, not always but you're right.
When the quarterbacks are healthy, the game's usually pretty like one way or a competitive game. 3-2, I would be reluctant to say I would sign up for it, but I think 4-1 is definitely feasible, and I would be willing to bet that they go 4-1.
Okay, all right.
But like for the grand scheme of things, like for their schedule and where they are, like where that puts them towards the end of the season, I think 3-2 is perfectly fine if they do it. Anything less than that is unacceptable.
So 3-2, let's just say glass half full, glass half empty, 3-2. Then you finish with the Raiders, the Commanders, and I don't think you're gonna have Daniels.
Definitely no.
Especially if they're pretty much already out of it. So you're gonna have
they're
Raiders,
not gonna bring him back.
Raiders home, at the Commanders, at the Bills, and they're gonna be fighting for the division. And then you're home against the Commanders. So if you go 3-2 in that stretch, beat the Raiders, beat the Commanders. So if you have one more loss other than the Bills, that'd be 3 losses. So that puts you at 12-5. So to me, worst case scenario is 12-5.
Yeah.
Right now.
I don't think that gets you the 1 seed.
No, probably not. Probably not. But
I think 13 could get you the 1 seed though.
13 probably will. It all depends. Does the West keep beating up on each other?
Right.
To where they only have 11 or 12 wins. The Eagles have tiebreakers over a bunch of teams. So again, the Packers and the Lions, it doesn't seem like anybody in the Central is going to get to 12 or 13 wins, because they're going to keep beating each other. Seattle,
the North, you mean? Or the North, you mean?
Or the North, yeah. What did I call them? The Central, yeah, the North. The South, no. the Bucks, and I didn't look at the Bucks schedule. If the Bucks have a weak schedule, they could easily kind of roll. And I'm not that impressed with the Buccaneers. I mean, they're fine.
They've been injured as all hell.
Yeah, big time. So the Bucks are
all right,
home Patriots. Home Patriots at the Bills, at the Rams. Wow.
Yeah, that's rough.
But then they end the season home Cardinals, home Saints, home Falcons, at the Panthers, at the Dolphins, home Panthers.
I mean, the last 3 should be. Well, who knows what the Panthers?
Who knows? Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
The Panthers are wild.
Not a tough schedule, but the next 3 they could go 1-2.
They could go 0-3 easy.
They could go 0-3 easy. The Patriots, the way that Drake May's playing right now, look out for the Patriots. I don't think they're winning the Super Bowl this year, and they have a cake schedule. I don't know if you've seen the Patriots schedule.
No,
easy.
Last place schedule at its finest.
Yep. In a bad division where the Bills are the only team you really only have to worry about. Patriots 7-2 right now. At the Bucks, Jets, at the Bengals, Giants, Bills, at the Ravens, at the Jets, and Dolphins. So Ravens and Bills are legit.
That's really, and they already beat the Bills.
They already beat the Bills, yep.
So even if they lose to the Bills, it's a wash.
It's a wash, right? Yeah, they're good. They're good. This is coming down.
It's wild this year, man.
It is.
And it's going by fast. I hate it.
Yeah, it usually does. Patrick Johnson cut by the Eagles today. I'm just seeing defensive end, so they makes room for that. Thank you, Tim.
For Phillips.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, creeping up. Defense looks a little bit better.
When's Nolan Smith supposed to be back?
I think he could be back this week. No. Yeah, I think he could be back on Monday night. I know his practice window was opened up. Yeah. So, yeah, everything I'm seeing right here, Nolan Smith takes a huge step towards his return from IR. So now Nolan Smith, he just has to get in there and be a part of it. BG's going to be back for Monday night. He's probably going to get a dozen snaps or something like that.
Love it.
Yeah, Jahad Campbell doesn't need to be maybe overused at either position. You can get him in there in special packages.
Make him more of a weapon as well.
Right. Just so he doesn't have to play too much end or outside rush linebacker. You can kind of use him as a joke in that joker position that I like they use.
The Packers Steelers game last week when they kept putting Micah Parsons behind the D tackle. That is what I envisioned Jahad Campbell being.
Agreed.
At some point.
Yeah.
Just over and over and over again up the middle, just relentlessly beating the crap out of you.
When they drafted him after the night of the draft, after they drafted him, they talked about how he was recruited as an edge rusher, and because of injuries and other things at Alabama, he got moved to being a more traditional linebacker, and that's what he ended up playing. But you could tell they still viewed him, maybe not the first year out of necessity and need, but they were viewing him as more of a weapon, kind of like Micah Parsons. Remember, Micah Parsons was drafted. He wasn't a defensive end right away. They ended up using him as the defensive end because I think they had a lot of injuries.
Oh my God. That was they were decimated with injuries. They had their top 5 defensive ends were on IR. Yep. I forgot all about that until you said it.
Yeah. So they ended up, maybe it would happen anyway, but they end up having a necessity to put him as more of a defensive end. He becomes one of the best rushers in the league. So I think Campbell can be used in a similar fashion. And I love that.
He's got the same type of body as him.
Jim Johnson used to use N.D. Kalu in that joker rush position because N.D. Kalu was an undersized defensive end, but he could get after the quarterback. He's a good player. And
I love N.D. Kalu.
Oh, he was good. Jim Johnson loved using him like that. Good creativity. And Vic Fangio has that same type of mind. Get these guys, get them in on the quarterback. So there we go.
Phillips is the type of guy that you can rush from anywhere also. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic of those two working together.
Yep. So we will see. We'll be back next week to talk about the Eagles after the Monday night game against the Green Bay Packers. The other big story in Philadelphia this week with sports is free agency starts for baseball. 4 p.m. on Thursday, Delco Steve.
How the hell does free agency already start?
It's 6 days after, 5 or 6 days after the World Series.
That's insane.
You know why people don't realize it? Because nothing really happens.
January?
Yeah, February. Everything gets slowed played because you have Scott Boras and all these other agents.
Say Scott Boras is an ass.
Yeah, it ruins it. It really does. It takes away from, think about the build up to NFL free agency. You have the tampering period. You have these rumors. You have those rumors. Meanwhile, Bryce Harper signed in February. Jake Arrieta signed in February. All these guys sign months after free agency starts. So it takes it away. But the Phillies have some big decisions that they need to make.
Yeah, that's like one of those things that they need to revisit to, all right, the free agency starts the day after Christmas. Something like that. Where
make it wait a little bit longer.
And then there's a whole bunch of build-up buzz to it. Because of all the other sports, I will say which is surprising me. I even think like NHL does better of giving you off-season hype to get you ready for the season. Baseball is just like, oh yeah, here's your countdown to pitchers and catchers. I'm like, okay, great. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, pitchers and catchers went in last week. Didn't even know it.
Yeah, and there's still free agents, big free agents that are outside. You know what? I guess it's the nature because the season's so long. So you can't wait too long for free agency. But if guys aren't signing, like starting free agency less than a week after the World Series ends, like, all right, maybe it's too soon. You can put different qualifying offers.
Dude, make it Black Friday. Give it a month. You gotta You gotta let it like go away for a second.
They're so dumb. Every year they announce the Gold Glove winners Sunday night after the World Series. During like Sunday Night Football gets announced. Why would you bury awards? And like, all right, it's not the MVP or anything like that, but still, why would you bury awards on a Sunday during the NFL season?
But they also take forever to announce their major awards anyway.
I know. Like, it's nuts.
Do we get it before November? Before November? It is November. Before Thanksgiving? It's like that. Why isn't it already announced?
I don't know. Well, it's just the Phillies have big decisions, which I believe JT and Kyle Schwarber are going to be back. Numbers being thrown around out there by a lot of the Jim Bowden, the former Major League General Manager, and he's usually pretty good at reading the market. 5 years, 160 is a number that's being put out there
for Schwarber.
For Schwarber, that's $32 million a year for 5 years. And JT, he can probably, or he could possibly get a third year because there are more teams interested in a catcher. Schwarber's going to have less teams, but he's going to make more money and get more years. JT's going to have more suitors because there's a lot of teams that need a veteran catcher, and he's only a 2 or 3 year contract. Mets could use a catcher. There's a bunch of teams that could use JT, which is probably going to push him to get a third year. So you're bringing back.
If JT goes to the Mets,
it would burn. That's why it won't happen. You think John Middleton's going to let JT go to the Mets for a third year?
No.
He's going to give him a third year.
Yeah, what's the difference at that point?
The Phillies are screwed. I mean, like, not that they still won't have a good team and they still have a chance to win a World Series, but they really have no other move. But Kyle Schwarber's got him by the balls, man. They're going to lose. They can't lose Kyle Schwarber. So if the market's dictating, hey, you get a 5th year, guess what Kyle Schwarber's going to get?
A fifth
year. Yeah. Yeah. And they're going to make sure that they're going to hold the market and they're going to try to drive the price up. And we're going to probably be in December and we're still going to be waiting to see what the hell happens. So I think both guys are back. I'd be shocked if both of these players aren't back. But I guess
I'd be less surprised if Schwarber's gone. Just like, I don't know. I feel like JT's like heart and soul for the Phillies, at least. Not that Schwarber isn't, but like I could see Schwarber going home to Cincinnati for a big deal, hitting in that ballpark. Like he would just be mashing home runs in Cincinnati on a regular basis.
Lux, so would there be? Is there a team out there that's willing to give Kyle Schwarber a contract that the Phillies say we cannot match that? Because what does Dave Dombrowski care? He's not going to be here in 6 years. He's not going to be here in 5 years.
I mean, I don't think he's going to be able to command a high enough number for the Phillies to say they can't match it. Like it's not like Soto getting $740 million, and you're like, okay, I'm out. Look.
He's not going to get $300 million. He's not getting those big contracts, but he's going to get paid. He's going to make big money. And for everybody out there that's saying I would not give him 5 years, okay, all right. Look at it from John Middleton's standpoint. The Citizens Bank Park is packed. He hit 56 home runs last year. Even if he's never going to approach those numbers again, which he probably isn't going to, he's still your best offensive player. You're telling me the owner's going to let your best offensive player leave when you're in a window of trying to win with veterans? It ain't happening. He's coming. Kyle Schwarber has the Phillies by the balls. There's not much they can do about it. But, you know, the Phillies aren't a team because a lot of teams would make a tough decision and say, you know what, it's just too much. And they go out and sign a Pete Alonso, or they go out and sign somebody for less years and maybe he's a little bit younger. That's not the Phillies' MO. John Middleton and the Phillies' MO is we're going to write big checks, and that's how we're going to compete. They spend a lot of money, and they're not getting Kyle Tucker. They're not doing that. Bregman's not coming here. They're going to sign Kyle Schwarber, and they're probably going to sign JT, and they're going to tinker with maybe they move on from Bohm. Maybe they don't tender him. They'll sign Max Kepler, this year's Max Kepler. Bader also today declined his mutual option. He will be a free agent. So you're going to have to pay free agent dollars to him if you're going to bring him back. The Phillies have a lot of work to do, Delco Steve. They do.
Yeah, the ins and out. This part of the season is not like you got me more in the baseball last year doing these shows. This is definitely not my forte of, oh yeah, you can replace this guy with this guy for cheaper and try to spend money here. Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty to do, and there's that the bullpen's always going to be in shambles, and Dombrowski's always just going to try and, find a quick fix there and, trade for the pieces at the deadline.
Right. A lot like how he did this year with corner number 2. If none of the guys that he throws at you, then he's going to take care of it at the trade deadline. He did it with defensive end. He did it with cornerback. Dave Dombrowski, if I had to guess, he did it in the bullpen this year. They had to trade for Duran because Romano didn't work out. But if they decide they're going to move on from Bohm, either a trade or they say, we don't even want to bring you back, we don't want to pay you $10 million, you're probably going to have Otto Kemp and somebody else playing third base. And then when that's not good enough, he'll make a trade at the trade deadline and bring in a third baseman that's better. And that's how they'll try to do it. And they'll win enough games during the regular season with the pitching and everything else to where they'll survive. And it's what would you rather have? Bohm for $10 million or using that $10 million to get an outfielder? I'd rather use the $10 million to get an outfielder. I don't want Bohm on this team anymore.
Who's the outfielder? Are you getting Bader back, or is it just a Kepler?
How about instead of getting Kepler, get a good Kepler, get a Jason Worth, like Pat Gillick did, get a player that can actually play.
Yeah. Okay. If you're telling me that, but if it's been what it's been the last 2 years of just, this $10 million for this guy, no, he stinks. And then just keep doing. Dombrowski's done the same thing 2 off seasons in a row.
Yep.
So until he proves it different, why would I assume he's going to do something different?
So right now it looks like that Justin Crawford's your left fielder. I don't even know who your center fielder is. It's Brandon Marsh, but excuse me, he's not an everyday center fielder. So you need a right fielder, and then you need a center fielder if Bader's not coming back. So your outfielders right now, in right field at least, you have Kepler, which who do you want? Starling Marte, who I don't want. He's 37 years old, but they need a right-handed bat. They need 2 right-handed bats in the outfield. At least you're left-handed heavy. Hunter Renfroe's out there. You don't have a lot of names, man. Center field, you have Bader, but you just had him. I liked him a lot. He gives you some pop.
Yeah, he was some juice.
But you could also re-sign him, and he turns into the player that he was before he came to Philadelphia.
True.
Where he's kind of more of a platoon player than a starting everyday player. He's good defensively. I like him.
Dude, the way he was reading balls off the wall.
Good, man.
That was the best thing I saw in baseball all year. That minus the miraculous, but just basics, ins and outs. That was awesome. He first game in, he's just like, I know exactly how this is going to bounce, and I'm going to play it perfectly.
Yep. He was good. He really was. That was a great trade by Dave Dombrowski. So he's going to work some of that magic to get some other players in here, because it's easy for me to say get Bohm out of here, but is Otto Kemp and Amundo Sosa, is that good enough as a third baseman until you can figure it out? I don't know. But if that means you keep Bohm, guess who the right-handed bat's going to be in the outfield? It's going to be Otto Kemp. He's going to be one of your right-handed bats playing a corner outfield position. So,
oh boy.
I like Otto Kemp. He's got pop in his bat, but
I think he's fine. It's just everyday
starter, probably not.
Yeah.
But I like him for 350 at bats, 400 at bats as a right-handed hitter, but they definitely need some more bodies. Ranger Suarez is going to be gone. We can say goodbye to Ranger. Definitely. That's going to suck. But yeah, you're right. And AJ says something here. He loves Kemp. I mean, Kemp's got pop that Alec Bohm doesn't. Here's the biggest thing in the offseason that they need to do. They need to figure out a way to protect Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper, having Alec Bohm hitting behind Bryce Harper, not a good idea at all. I was actually looking at advanced analytics because I saw somebody put a video up on Twitter talking about Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper was swinging at more pitches out of the zone this year than he ever has in his career. He was also getting thrown more balls outside of the zone than he ever has in his career. So they're not throwing him strikes, and he's chasing. And he's also swinging at first pitches more than he ever has in his career. So he's swinging at first pitches. He's seeing less strikes, and he's missing more balls than he ever has. And that's a guy that's going up there, and he's hoping to see a fastball the first pitch and he's not getting them because they have Alec Bohm batting behind him. What do they care? So they got to do something.
We can put Bryce on base or let him get himself out and know that Bohm's most likely not going to hurt them.
Nope.
And, then you look back to 2 years ago when Bohm started off the season hot as hell and all those doubles, they were cruising because they were scoring runs. And then as soon as he stopped providing that protection for Harper, the run stopped.
Dunsky, and Bryce doesn't remain patient at the plate to where if he actually were patient, and he's got to improve this as well, but if he was more patient at the plate and wasn't swinging at balls because he's not seeing strikes, then maybe he would get better pitches to hit, but that's not what he did last year. I honestly, I think you bat Schwarber behind Harper.
That's what but they should have been doing that for years at this point. But Schwarber just doesn't do well in the lineup when you drop him past 2.
No, I'm gonna Google it right now. He was fine batting cleanup. And you don't mind doing.
I think he's fine there. They don't think he's fine there. Because if they thought he was fine, fine there, they would leave him there.
So the whole thing is that you want Schwarber, you want your best players to get more at bats. Yeah. Or get the most at bats. So if you bat him cleanup, what used to be viewed as like, oh, that's your batting third and fourth is your most important. No, it's not anymore. They don't want that. But what does it matter if your MVP player Bryce Harper is struggling because you have Bohm hit behind him? I don't know. It just pisses me off to no end. This stuff. You just can't. You have to have better protection for Bryce Harper. You need a better power bat. Castellanos is going to be gone.
Yep. I was about to say you need a Cassie trade and then a big swing for either first base or right field, so you can move Harper to the opposite position.
Yeah, but who's that going to be?
I don't know. This is not my forte of baseball season by any means.
All right, I'm trying to.
Unless you go pay, like you said, but you said it's not going to happen. Pay Tucker all the money.
They're not paying Tucker. Tucker's not coming here. We're not gonna do the Soto thing from last year where everybody's like, oh, well, the Phillies don't care. Phillies aren't serious about winning. They don't sign Soto. Like, Soto was never coming here. Stop it. Tucker's not coming here. He's not.
Soto would have been fun.
Yeah, the Mets didn't make the freaking playoffs. Like, you go spend $1 billion and not make the playoffs. Awesome.
Well, that's because they're the Mets.
Or beat you the year.
The Mets are going to
net before. Well, they beat you the year before.
That's true. That's true.
Let me see. I can't find this fast enough. But regardless, how many games did he even play outside? Like where did he bat the most? The 2? Yeah. Where did he bat the most? 2?
Hold on. I'll be able to find it real quick.
Well, I should be able to find it real fast. Because he hit cleanup, but then they didn't they wanted Trey Turner to bat not clean up. They wanted Trey Turner to bat leadoff because that's where he was before. He was batting leadoff a lot. And everybody was mad that he was batting leadoff because he's not the prototypical leadoff hitter.
All right. He had 43 at bats in the 1 hole, 374 in the 2 hole, 57 in the 3 hole, 130 in the 4 hole.
Okay.
In the 4 hole, he batted 277 with 10 home runs and 26 RBIs. That's perfectly fine production there.
So 10.
That's actually the best. That's the best batting average. Was in the 4 hole.
Yeah, I'm curious to what Bryce's average looked like when he was batting 4. And he hits lefty. He hits lefties really well. I heard an interview with Schwarber on MLB Network, and whoever was doing the interview, he had more home runs against left-handed pitchers this year than 26 teams in Major League Baseball.
Wow.
26 teams, like combined, he had more home runs than 26 teams, like each team individually against left-handed pitching.
That's almost all the teams.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Literally. There's only 30 of them, and he's on one of them.
Yep. Exactly. He's on that. So you got to take them out of there.
Harper never batted below 3rd in the lineup.
Right. And it would be impossible to see what his batting average would be when Schwarber hit behind him.
He went 0 for 4 in the 1 hole. He batted 305 in the 2 hole with 59 at bats.
Yeah.
So if you could do, why can't we do Turner, Harper, Schwarber?
No.
And then everybody's happy.
Yep. Need a right-handed bat. Need a right-handed bat. Who's your best right-handed bat in this lineup?
Edmundo.
JT? Yeah, Edmundo's going to need to play more too.
Edmundo, or not, JT, if he plays from that, July stretch on, would be amazing.
Yeah, they have to. They can't hit Schwarber second, Bryce Harper third, and then just throw some. Who's Otto Kemp is going to be your cleanup hitter? Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
Can't do this. All right. Well, anyway, what else do we got, Delco Steve? How's the little man doing? How's Coop doing?
He got his second round of shots today, so he was a grumpy boy in the afternoon.
Did he get a fever from the shots, or just not happy?
So I thought he was hot, but Erica gave him the temperature, gave him the thermometer in like the armpit, and he was 97.5 or something like that. So not at all. But I thought he was warm. But no, he's just been a little cranky. He's doing all right though. He fell asleep. Can't complain.
Right. No worries.
I was like screaming right below
him. Yeah, well, like once the little ones are asleep, it's pretty hard to hard to wake them up.
He's rocked.
Mm. All right. Well, listen. One more thing, because we're both college football fans. Looks like James Franklin's Virginia Tech. I saw it again today, but it's still like out there, but not out there.
I don't get it from his perspective. It's like that doesn't seem like a big enough job for him.
Yeah, but you know what? So where's he going to go? He's going to be successful.
I don't know where he's. I don't think he's ever going to be successful. But if he wants to we're just going to go win a national title somewhere else.
He ain't winning a national title, brother. He was feeling himself. He was feeling himself. He goes to Virginia 100%. Tech. If he goes 8-4 every year, they're happy because look at what they've done since Beamer left. They're pathetic. They're terrible. So you go 8.
I'm surprised a team like Auburn doesn't try and go get him.
He would fail. Virginia Tech.
I don't think he would succeed either. But.
Virginia Tech's ACC. They have a lot of resources. They have a lot of money to spend. If he goes 8-4 on a good year, 9-3 or 10-2, they're happy and they're in the college football playoff conversation. I think he can do that. He goes to Florida, he'll get blown out of the water. He can't compete down there. Yes,
I don't think he can compete either. But I'm just surprised that those kind of teams aren't looking to take that type of swing on a recruiter more so than anything. Yeah. He was an SEC coach. He was at Vanderbilt.
Vandy. He did a good job.
And Vandy was awful right after he left, and now they're coming back up. But I mean, he knows the landscape. He knows the teams that are playing down there.
I'll say about Franklin, he's a really smart dude. The entire how he got fired from Penn State, he manipulated that whole thing to be the victim. Went on game day, oh poor James Franklin and everything else. You go to a Florida, LSU's not going to hire him, but he needs to go to a program that's going to appreciate him. He's going to be like, if he goes to Virginia Tech and he's able to go 9-3 or 8-4,
oh, they're going to love him.
He'll be there for 15 years. He'll do the same thing he did at Penn State, and they'll be having the arguments down there. Well, I can't win the big game. Yeah, but they're right there every year, and like, look what it was before he came here.
Those expectations are completely different than what they are at Penn State. If he's doing 10-2 at Virginia Tech, that's miles better than 10-2 at Penn State.
Yeah, and it's still, I don't know why it's not happening. Maybe he's holding them up for money. Maybe it's just BS, but it seems like that was the destination for James Franklin.
Well, I don't even know how he can hold him up for money because there's no way anyone's signing him for more of an average annual value than Penn State paid him.
Yeah, but what's their next choice? Franklin's a safe choice, man. For Virginia Tech, you can go out and hire a young guy and he sucks. I don't know. Like, to me, Penn State hiring Brian Hartline is a good move because it's a young coach, and Penn State recruits Penn State. Right. Like as long as you're not an idiot, you should be able to recruit linemen and linebackers and people like that to Penn State. So as long as you don't have an idiot, I think they'll be fine. But Virginia Tech
I don't think they're competing with the Ohio States and
no.
those kind of teams anytime soon.
No. No, they didn't really. They didn't really do it.
No, they didn't do it with Franklin, but at least their records look like they did.
Yeah, I mean, last year they kind of did. All right, Delco Steve, man, have a good week. I'll talk to you next Tuesday.
Go Birds.
All right, buddy. And again, remember, subscribe and like to 97.5 The Fanatic, and also to my personal YouTube page and my social media at Jon, Jon Marks, Marks Media, at Jon Marks Media. We'll talk to you. See you.